This video ain't just words, it's an invite to turn your life around. If you're up for the challenge, hit that subscribe button. By sticking around till the end, you're not just backing us, but taking the first step towards the change you want to see in your life. Together, let's uncover how to live fuller and with purpose. Ready to take on the challenge? Living beyond means. Have you ever stopped to think about the true meaning of wealth? No, I'm not talking about those impressive numbers in your bank account or the luxury cars parked in your garage. I'm talking about the wealth measured by the peace of mind to sleep without worrying about tomorrow. The kind that allows us to look at what we have and feel genuine satisfaction without the constant need for more. Let's be honest. How many times have you found yourself wanting something just because it's the latest trend? A phone promising to revolutionize your life, a piece of clothing that everyone seems to be wearing. It's easy to get caught up in the wave, but therein lies the danger. The true art of living well isn't about accumulating, but about appreciating. And here's a golden tip, perhaps the most valuable of all. Don't spend more than you have. Sounds simple, right? But in practice, it's a different story. Society bombards us with messages that encourage exactly the opposite. Buy now, pay later, they say. But what about peace of mind? Where does that fit into the story? Imagine for a moment that you decide to do things differently. You start evaluating your purchases, not by the momentary pleasure they bring, but by the real need or long-term happiness they provide. You begin to see the difference between wanting something and needing something, and that perception changes everything. For example, that expensive coffee you buy every day before work. Is it really essential for your well-being, or could it be replaced by a homemade version, equally satisfying and much more economical? And that ultra-expensive cell phone plan, does it really make a difference in your life? Or is it just there because it seemed like a good idea at the time? Now think about what you could do with the money saved. Perhaps invest in experiences that bring true joy, like a trip with loved ones. Or even save for that dream project that always seemed too far away. You see, the goal here isn't to tell you to stop buying or seeking things that make you happy. The message is to do so consciously, valuing what really matters. Because in the end, true financial freedom doesn't come from how much you earn, but from how you spend. Mindful money management. You know that storm that appears on the horizon when we least expect it. The one that catches us off guard and makes us wish we had paid closer attention to the clouds forming. Well, our financial life has those too. And that's where a fundamental principle comes in. Mindful attention to our finances. It might seem tempting to turn away from bank statements or ignore that credit card debt balance, as if somehow not looking would make the problem disappear. But let's face reality, the only storm that dissolves with ignorance is the one in magic movies, not in your bank account. Taking a good look at our finances means truly understanding what's coming in and going out, the weight of our debts and the relief of our savings. It's having that honest conversation with yourself about what we're doing with our money. And believe me, this can be one of the most liberating conversations of your life. Let's think together here. When was the last time you really analyzed your budget? That fearless analysis, no excuses, just you and the numbers. If the idea sounds strange, maybe it's time to rethink your strategies. Now imagine that instead of fearing these numbers, you know them as well as an old friend. You know exactly how much you can spend on leisure without compromising your essential expenses. You know the amount of your debts not as a burden, but as clear challenges to overcome. And furthermore, you see your savings not as lost coins, but as seeds planted for the future. This level of clarity is a superpower. Yes, you read that right. It's the power to make financial decisions with confidence, to avoid consumer traps, and most importantly, to build a solid financial future. And it all starts with a simple act of opening your eyes and really seeing. So why not start now? It may seem like a daunting task at first, but I promise you, the results are worth every minute invested. Every conscious decision you make is a step away from financial ruin and towards a safer and more prosperous future. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Each of us has the ability to transform our relationship with money. So why not take that step? After all, mindful attention to finances isn't just about avoiding problems. It's about creating possibilities. Let's do this. Happiness and material wealth. Have you ever found yourself thinking that if you just had a little more money, you would definitely be happier? Ah, that new car, the bigger house, the dream vacation. It seems like happiness is always just one purchase away, doesn't it? But what if I told you that this chase after the wind might be leading us away from true joy? Here we encounter a principle that may be the most challenging of all, but also the most liberating. True happiness isn't tied to the quantity of material possessions we have. Yes, you read that correctly. Those extra zeros in the bank account may bring momentary satisfaction, but deep and lasting joy comes from something that money can't buy. The Stoics, with their ancient wisdom, already pointed us in this direction. For them, true joy lies in virtue, in wisdom, and above all, in authentic human relationships. Take a moment and think, what are the memories that truly warm your heart? I bet they're not the times you bought the latest gadget, but rather those moments shared with loved ones, the laughter, the hugs, the conversations that stretch into the night. This principle invites us to rethink our notion of wealth. It's not a call to abandon our possessions and live ascetically, but rather to prioritize experiences and relationships over material possessions. Imagine cultivating memories that become the true treasure of your life, something that not even the greatest thief could steal from you. What if we started investing more in experiences that enrich us from within? A simple trip, but filled with discoveries. A course that opens our eyes to new knowledge, or even that dinner at home, prepared together, full of laughter and love. These are the true riches we carry with us, no matter where we go. It's almost ironic to think that by freeing ourselves from the obsession with accumulating material goods, we may find ourselves richer than we ever imagined. After all, the wealth that truly matters isn't the one we can quantify, but the one that resides in the quality of our lives and relationships. So, I invite you to reflect. How can you start enriching your life with more moments of true joy and less focus on material things? Remember, change can start with small steps, and the first step might simply be deciding to value what truly matters. And now, are you ready to embark on this journey of redefining wealth? Let's discover together that true happiness may be much closer than we think, waiting only for us to adjust our focus to truly see it. Risks as allies. Have you ever felt that butterflies in the stomach sensation when contemplating stepping out of your comfort zone? That moment when you're on the edge of a big leap, whether it's starting a new project, investing in something innovative, or even radically changing careers. That butterflies feeling, believe it or not, can be one of the clearest signs that you're about to embrace a powerful ally. Risk. In the world of finance, as in life, the greatest gains often come from being willing to take calculated risks. Of course, we're not talking about blindly throwing yourself into any adventure. The key here is finding the balance between courage and prudence. But one thing is certain: without taking risks, the chances of growth and learning become much smaller. Imagine for a moment that all the great innovations we know today never happened because their creators were afraid to take risks. Think about how many opportunities for advancement would have been missed. Now apply that thought to your own life. How many doors could open if you decide to embrace risk as part of your journey? Facing challenges with courage doesn't mean ignoring prudence. In fact, calculated risk-taking involves planning, analysis, and a good dose of self-awareness. It means carefully evaluating options, understanding possible consequences, and then making an informed decision. This approach prepares us not only to seize opportunities, but also to face setbacks with resilience. For example, in the financial realm, investing in a new project or venturing into a personal enterprise may seem intimidating at first. However, with due diligence and a solid plan, these risks can be the missing steps towards significant personal and financial fulfillment. The secret lies in balancing boldness with strategy, turning the risk from a potential enemy into a valuable ally. So, how do you start? First, it's crucial to know yourself, your limits, your passions, and especially your ability to bounce back from unexpected results. Next, educate yourself. Study the field you want to venture into. Talk to people who have gone through similar experiences. Seek guidance. And finally, plan. While a good plan may not eliminate all risks, it will certainly better prepare you to face them. Ending with a call to action. Being ready to embrace risks isn't an innate skill. It's a choice. A choice that can make the difference between stagnation and growth, between what if and I did it. So, what's it going to be? Are you ready to make risk your ally and open the doors to the countless possibilities life has to offer? We challenge you to dive into the power of Stoic fortitude. If you accept, comment Stoic fortitude and share a personal experience of resilience. Sign up, join our community, and turn challenges into strength. Do you accept? Let's proceed. Personal growth. Have you ever stopped to think that we as human beings are like apps constantly in need of updates? Not to fix bugs or improve the interface, but to evolve, expand our horizons, and increase our ability to navigate this rapidly changing world. That's the fifth principle of our journey: dedication to personal growth. In a world where the new becomes obsolete almost instantly, staying stagnant is akin to moving backward. It might seem intimidating, I know, but there's a unique beauty in the constant pursuit of improvement. Every new knowledge acquired, every skill developed, turns us into more complete versions capable of facing emerging challenges. Imagine yourself as state-of-the-art software. What makes an app great isn't just what it can do at the time of its launch, but its ability to adapt, improve, and offer new functionalities over time. This process of continuous updating is precisely what personal growth represents. I'm not just talking about academic or professional achievements. Continuous learning encompasses everything. From reading a book that expands your worldview to developing a new skill, like learning a new language or playing a musical instrument. Even the ability to be present, practicing mindfulness and cultivating empathy are forms of growth that make us richer and more complex human beings. And the most incredible part of all this, unlike apps, we don't need a developer to release our next version. We have the power to initiate our own updates, set the pace, and choose the areas we want to improve. This means that the control is in our hands. Now think about the areas of your life that you would like to develop. Maybe it's time to invest in that business idea that has always been on your mind. Or perhaps it's time to dedicate yourself to a hobby that has always fascinated you. Remember, there is no limit to what we can learn and how we can grow. So I challenge you. What updates will you initiate today? How will you invest in your personal development to ensure that the most advanced version of yourself is always in the process of being released? Remember, growth is a journey, not a destination. And every step we take in that direction brings us closer not only to our goals, but to becoming the best version of ourselves. Autonomy and responsibility. On the stage of life, we often find ourselves at a crossroads, where every decision we make leads us down a different path. In this scenario, a fundamental principle emerges for navigating successfully: the importance of autonomy and personal responsibility. This is the 6th milestone in our journey, a powerful reminder that we are indeed the architects of our own destiny. How easy it is to look outside and blame the world for the storms we face, isn't it? Whether it's a challenging financial situation, an unmet goal, or even a personal objective still far off. The temptation to point fingers at external circumstances or other people is strong. But here lies a transformative truth. By taking full responsibility for our lives and finances, we open the doors to unparalleled change. Imagine for a moment that instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you see yourself as the primary driver of change in your life. This doesn't mean denying difficulties or ignoring the obstacles that arise along the way. On the contrary, it's about recognizing that in the game of life, how we react and the decisions we make have a direct impact on how events unfold. Embracing this posture of autonomy and responsibility is like taking the helm of a ship amidst a storm. Yes, the sea may be rough and the waves high, but it's you who decides where to go, adjusting the sails and seeking the best path forward. In financial terms, this translates to making conscious decisions about spending, investments and savings, charting a course that reflects your true priorities and goals. This principle is an invitation for deep reflection. Where can you take more responsibility in your life? How can you exercise greater autonomy in day-to-day decisions, especially those related to your finances? Remember, every conscious choice is a step toward a more prosperous and fulfilling future. By acknowledging our role as protagonists of our story, we empower ourselves to create the life we desire, full of achievements and free of regrets. Therefore, I invite you to fully embrace your autonomy and responsibility. See each challenge not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an opportunity to grow, learn, and move closer to your dreams. The future is an open book, and the pen is in your hands. If you're enjoying this, don't miss out on the opportunity. Get your copy now of the e-book, Stoicism in the 21st Century, Ancient Strategies for Modern Challenges, and unlock your prosperity, abundance, and improve your relationships with this e-book. Link in the pinned comment. Living authentically. Often we find ourselves navigating the tide of social comparison. What if I had that? Or why isn't my life like theirs? Are questions that, let's admit it, have crossed your mind. But here, in the 7th lesson of our journey, we are invited to embark on one of the most liberating of journeys, living authentically, according to our own values, not those imposed by others' expectations. Living authentically is like finding the compass that points to true north on a treasure map. This north isn't marked by gold or conventional riches, but by the richness of living a life that resonates with who we truly are. It's about building a lifestyle that, more than impressing others, fills us with satisfaction and meaning. But how does this relate to financial independence, you might ask? The answer is simple, yet profound. When we align our finances with our authentic values, every spending decision, every investment, every saving ceases to be merely a financial transaction and becomes an expression of who we are. Thus, the path to financial independence ceases to be a burden and becomes a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment. Imagine that instead of chasing the latest trend, you invest in experiences and things that bring true value to your life. Perhaps this means choosing a smaller house, but in a community you love, or opting for less luxurious cars, but investing more in travels with your family. When you stop buying things just to maintain an image and start investing in what truly matters to you, financial freedom becomes much more attainable. This principle also teaches us to cut the chains of social comparison. After all, everyone's journey is unique, and what works for someone else may not be the best path for you. Cultivating the courage to live on your own terms is the true sign of wealth and success. So how do you begin this transition to a more authentic life? Start by reflecting on what truly matters to you. What are your core values? How can you align your finances and lifestyle with these values? Remember, this is an ongoing process, a journey of discoveries and adjustments. By living authentically, you not only pave your own path toward financial independence, but also cultivate a lifestyle that is truly yours. And that, my friend, is a form of wealth that cannot be measured in monetary terms. Adaptability to change. We have reached a universal and undeniable truth. Change is inevitable. Our world is constantly evolving, spinning at a pace that sometimes feels dizzying. However, it is here, in this whirlwind of transformations, that the eighth lesson reveals itself. Learning to adapt is more than a skill, it is a vital necessity. Seeing change not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an invitation to growth, innovation, and discovery, is an art. An art that allows us not only to survive, but to thrive in the face of life's twists and turns. This principle, adaptability to change, is what equips us to face the future not with fear, but with anticipation and excitement. Imagine for a moment that you are an experienced navigator, guiding your ship through uncharted seas. The waves that rise are no longer seen as threats, but as challenges to be overcome. Each new direction taken is not a deviation from the course, but an opportunity to discover unmapped lands. Similarly, when we embrace adaptability, we transform challenges into opportunities for personal and professional growth. In practical terms, this means always being open to learning new things, being willing to reassess and adjust our plans, and above all, maintaining a flexible mindset. In the financial context, adaptability can translate into diversifying investments, being prepared for changes in the job market, or even rethinking savings and consumption strategies. But how do we develop this skill? Start by cultivating curiosity, the desire to learn and explore. Stay informed about trends and changes in your field of interest and the world around you. And perhaps most importantly, learn from setbacks. Each failure is not a sign of defeat, but a valuable lesson on the path to success. This final principle invites us to look to the future with open eyes and a courageous heart. It reminds us that while we may not control every variable, we have the power to shape how we respond to change. By embracing adaptability, we prepare ourselves not only to face the unknown, but to welcome it as an old friend. And so, armed with these 8 principles, we are ready to face the world, not as passive passengers, but as captains of our own journey. Change is coming. The question is, are you ready to turn it into your ally?